This is Manga Dominion K, teaching beyond boundaries.
Most of us would love to be remembered when we are gone or when we are dead. So Christina Rossetti writes a poem titled Remember. Christina was born and she lived in London during the 19th century. So she writes a poem, Remember. If you take a closer look at this poem, you'll realize that she is requesting her beloved to remember her when she is gone to the silent land. The word remember here appears a number of times in this poem. Let us take a look at this poem. Remember me when I'm gone away, gone far away to the silent land, when you can no more hold me by the hand. No, I have turned to go yet stay and stay. Remember me when no more day by day you tell me of our future that you plan. Only remember me, you understand, it will be late to counsel then or pray. Yet if you should forget me for a while, and afterwards remember, do not grieve. For if the darkness of corruption leave a vestige of the thoughts that once I had, better by far you should forget and smile, than that you should remember and be sad. Look at how many times the word remember appears here. First of all, it appears in the first line. The word remember opens that line. She says, remember me when I'm gone away. In line number 5, it opens again that line, and in line number 7, only remember. There it appears for the third time. If you go down with the poem, in line number 9, and afterwards remember, it also appears in the last line, then that you should remember. Why does the speaker repeat this word remember? She repeats this word to make sure that the addressee or her beloved or her husband, if you will, does not forget her. It's a way of emphasizing her request, her plea. She is urging and she emphasizes that by repeating the word remember. So she says, remember me when I'm gone away, gone far away into the silent land. Wow! Where is she going? Line number 2 tells us she is going to the silent land, or she will be going to the silent land. What's a silent land, you ask me? Good question. You see, when we speak, sometimes we avoid some words or some concept for particular reasons, especially words that might inflict pain or bad feelings. The phrase silent land refers to a cemetery or a graveyard or the grave itself. You see, it is an implication that she will be dead. Because in the silent land or in the graveyard, in the cemetery, in the grave, we find someone or we find people that are dead. So just right there in this phrase, silent land, we see a figure of speech which we refer to as a euphemism. A euphemism is a figure of speech that we use when we want to avoid a particular word due to its effects on the addressee. Maybe the addressee will feel bad or will feel pain, so we don't want to inflict pain on the next person, so we use a euphemism. There are different ways or different reasons why we would use a euphemism, but in this context of this poem, silent land as a euphemism is used to avoid the word death. So you can see just right there that the speaker does not want to inflict pain to the addressee, even though she wants him to, or she wants them to know that one day she will die. So that is a euphemism. So she continues to say, when you can no more hold me by the hand. So just right there, we are giving an idea that the speaker is addressing someone who is so close to her heart, they are in an intimate relationship. How do we know? When you can no more hold me by the hand. Because in the context of this poem, in the context of this relationship, when people are in a relationship, a romantic relationship, holding hands is symbolic of expressing their feelings for each other, or expressing their love for each other. That desire to be close to one another. But she's saying, when I shall be gone, when I shall be in a silent land, you won't be able to hold me by the hand. Another thing that won't be able to happen when the speaker is dead or gone to the silent land is there in line number 4. She says, now I have turned to go yet turning stay. You see, when the speaker is still alive, and maybe she leaves the house, she goes away, maybe she goes to town or wherever, and she's leaving her beloved behind. She may sometimes come back and stay, but she is emphasizing the point that, but when I am gone to the silent land, I won't be able to come back to stay with you. That's painful, isn't it? Take a closer look at line number 5. She says, remember me when no more day by day you tell me of our future that you plan. Just right there, line 5 and 6. These lines evoke an idea of patriarchy. Yes, an idea of patriarchy. What is patriarchy? An idea of the superiority of males. In what way? Take a closer look at that. Remember me when no more day by day you tell me of our future that you planned. Take a look at the personal pronouns that are used there by the speaker. He says, 1, in line 6, you tell me. So who would be telling, or who is telling? The addressee or the husband. In other words, it seems like the relationship seems to be going according to the terms of the man. She continues to say, only remember me. You understand it will be late to counsel then or pray. She insists again, please, the only thing that I want you to do is to remember me. But take a closer look again. He says, you understand it will be late to counsel then or pray. This is the mention of these two words, counsel and or pray. The two words counsel or pray suggest that this is a couple that believes in counseling, or this is a relationship where the man would play the role of being a counselor or counseling his partner. You see, the two words counsel and pray, they give an idea that this couple, they are believers. They pray, they are religious, they believe in God, and they believe that their lives are controlled, are in the hands of God. The word counsel and the word pray. You see, from line 1 to line number 8, the speaker has been pleading, she has been urging, she's been requesting her husband or her beloved not to forget her, to remember. But all of a sudden in line 9, she changes the whole idea. She says, yet if you should forget me for a while. She introduces now the word forget. So from line 1 to line number 8, she's been pleading, she's been requesting, she's been asking repeatedly that he must not forget her, but she must remember her. But all of a sudden in line number 9, she changes the whole thing. She changes the idea. She changes the whole tone. And she says, yet, take a closer look. Yet if you should forget me for a while. You see, in that line, she leaves a room that there are reasons that might cause her beloved to forget her. So she says, if you should forget me for a while, and afterwards remember, do not grieve. Take a closer look at the last three words. Do not grieve then. So what is she saying? She's saying, if you happen to forget me and then remember me after a while, it's fine, it's alright, don't worry. She says, do not grieve. You see, the tone changes right now. It is a tone of conciliation, a tone of wanting her beloved to have peace, even though he might forget her for a while. Let's take a look at what could be the reason for him to forget her for a while. She says, for if the darkness and corruption leave a vestige of the thoughts that once I had, better by far you should forget and smile. You see, those two words, darkness and corruption, the speaker leaves a room for us to fill in those gaps, just to speculate what could be that darkness and corruption. Maybe the speaker is admitting in a way or indirectly that her life has been tainted with some particular mistakes or flaws that are known to both of them, and when she is gone, the beloved or the husband might remember those mistakes of her. So she said, it's fine, because of those mistakes of mine, those flaws in my life, those shortcomings, you might happen to forget me when I'm gone. So she says, then should that happen, better by far you should forget and smile. What is she saying? She is saying, if this darkness and corruption leave a vestige, in other words, a blemish, a taint of darkness in my life, she says, it's fine. Instead of remembering me in a bad way, you better forget about me, better forget me. So she says, better by far you should forget and smile than that you should remember and be sad. You see, these last two lines, she shows that she is prioritizing the happiness of her beloved instead of being remembered. She says, better by far you should forget and smile than that you should remember and be sad. Now let us take a closer look at the structure of this poem. You see, the poem is following the structure of a Petrarchan sonnet. So what is a Petrarchan sonnet? A Petrarchan sonnet is a sonnet that follows the structure and the form or the style of the poems that were written by an Italian scholar, a linguist, a philosopher, Francesco Petrarca. You see, his poems had first 8 lines that referred to as an octet or octave, and then the last 6 lines which referred to as a sestet. Now the octave and the sestet are separated by a volta. A volta would be a word just right there at the beginning of line number 9, which indicates a change of an idea. In this case, a volta is just right there, which is the word yet, where the speaker indicates that she would rather be forgotten if being remembered means being remembered for bad things or for the darkness and corruption So you see the word yet is a volta there because it brings a different tone, a different idea, a different perspective, a different thought now. So another feature of a Petrarchan sonnet is the rhyme scheme. You'll notice that the rhyme scheme of the Petrarchan sonnet is A, B, B, A, B, B, A, and then the sestet has a rhyme which is C, D, D, E. But this one, it takes a different form because the last two lines take a totally different, a unique pattern. It is C and E. Now, why is it important to talk about the rhyme scheme, to talk about the octave and the sestet? It is important because you would find that, just for example, in this poem, the speaker has got a particular idea that is expressed in lines 1 to 8, and then from line 9 to line 14. The speaker comes with a different idea. Most of the time, from line 9 to line 14, the speaker brings a solution to the problem that he would have been stating or she would have been stating in the first 8 lines. So the volta would be just introducing a solution or a different dimension or a different view, different from the one that is stated above. So that is the importance of the structure in this poem. The rhyme scheme and the octave as well as the sestet being divided by the volta. The different ideas that are contained, that are entailed there. Now, if you take a closer look at the rhyme scheme of the first 8 lines, A, B, B, A, B, B, A, you realize that this pattern is closed or it is enclosed. It begins with A and then closes with A. And then the next 4 lines begin with A and close with A. Therefore, it shows the idea or the thoughts of the speaker that she is adamant, she is certain, she is sure, she is insisting that she has to be remembered by her beloved. So the last feature that I want us to look at in this poem for today is the iambic pentameter, which is the rhythm in the lines. It goes like this: remember me when I am gone away, gone far away into the silent land. You see, this rhythm, this iambic pentameter is very critical because it suggests that the speaker's thoughts or idea, the thoughts are just consistent. She continues maintaining she continues maintaining her standpoint to be remembered. So friends, don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Till we meet next time, when we shall be looking at more details of this poem.